Hello everyone, and welcome to some more Naya Wrestling! It is me here, Mark Silvester, and welcome today guys to some more WrestleMania Watchalongs. Now what WrestleMania Watchalongs is, it's where I do a watch-along of what is for me the best or most important match for that particular year's WrestleMania. And so then guys, for today's WrestleMania, for the WrestleMania watch-along, it'll be WrestleMania VII.
World Wrestling Federation Champion, Sergeant Slaughter versus the Immortal Hulk Hogan. Face to face. It's WrestleMania. Welcome to Los Angeles, California. Welcome to the sports arena. Welcome to Star Spangled WrestleMania 7.
WrestleMania 7 was held on the March the 24th, 1991. And now for the number one film of that time in the UK was Green Card. In the US, it was the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, The Secret of the Ooze, an absolute bona fide classic. And for me, a true 5 out of 5 star film. And the number one song of the UK was The One and Only by Chesney Hawkes. And the US, it was One More Try by Timmy T. And now then guys, for the game, it was quite interesting actually, because trying to look for the game and doing research about the number one game for this particular time. And that was, for both the US and the UK, the bona fide classic, the magna opus of fighting games, the game that helped bring fighting games to the forefront, the game that helped bring fighting games to become the biggest thing in the world and why so many people love playing fighting games. And that's right guys, was Street Fighter 2 World Warrior / the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And so then guys, for the match I'll be doing a watch along of, it'll be The Undertaker versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka from WrestleMania 7.
Marla Maples right in the middle of that disgusting display by the Nasty Boys.
Are you trying to say they're more than nasty? They're disgusting?
Yes, they are.
She's going to have to change dresses if we're going out tonight. I'm going to go out with her all sticky.
Currently in the ring from the PG Highlands, weighing 245 pounds, Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
The Phenom, Superfly Jimmy Snuka.
Well, I hate to say it, but I've said it before. He looks ready, don't he?
For whom the bell tolls.
Services for Mr. Snuka.
His opponent led towards the ring by Paul Bearer from
in that urn.
Now then, guys, if you're able to find this match or this particular WrestleMania in itself, all you need to go on to is WrestleMania 7. It can be from any streaming service or anything you can find WrestleMania on. And you need to go to 1 hour and 10 minutes and 23 seconds. At the count of 3, we'll begin. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. And you can hear the Jimmy Superfly Snuka's theme tune playing, a classic song by Jim Johnston, who was able to create some amazing songs. You can see here as well the crowd, because the most interesting thing about this pay-per-view was it was back in the day, it was originally supposed to be at the LA Memorial building, which holds over 100,000 people. But because of how, in a sense, bad the ticket sales were going, they moved it into this more smaller LA arena, and it holds about 20,000, but you wouldn't really actually notice because of how well the production is of the show, that it just caught. And you can hear there as well the gong going off, and it's kind of building up the whole mystique and the aura of the Undertaker. And you can see here as well Paul Bearer, because when the Undertaker appeared at Survivor Series 1990 for his debut, he came out with Brother Love. It's just really interesting just to see the Undertaker coming out in his classic grey costume with the classic hat, and you can see like the kids in the crowd, you can see the adults in the crowd all going like, oh, holy shit, who is this man? This man's like 6'10", and you can just see the fear on their face, and you can just see even from that shot as well too, of the way that the Undertaker's walking across the ring, just his intimidating force and stuff. And it's just so cool just to see like how different he is here when he's still the bad guy. But then again, he still had that cheer because people still like him, still appreciate him. But it's insane just to see, and you can see there actually as well the first use of WrestleMania on the screen to kind of like mention the name of the wrestlers as well too. And you can just see the really cool red, white and blue, because it was during the Gulf War, or either at the end of the Gulf War, and you had Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter in the main event to kind of be like the US against Iraq and that kind of stuff. And it's just really interesting to kind of see that whole like Americana. You could see here as well the Undertaker looking badass and awesome as always, as he does. And yeah, I know years later, like in 93, they added more where when the gong played, he had the lights go down and then he would bring the lights up. But then in 94, when he came back wearing the purple, you had the more like the colours, and you had like the purple across the ring and stuff. And I just find, for me, it's just so interesting to see the Undertaker, because this is his first match off the streak before it went to 21-0 and stuff. And you can just see that shot as well there, Paul Bearer, like how awesome he is and stuff. And you can see there the big clubbing blows to Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And the most interesting thing is, because the amount of times I've seen this match, it's really interesting to hear Gorilla Monsoon calling Jimmy Superfly Snuka the Phenom, where to me it's always been, the Undertaker is always known as the Phenom, the best of the WF and all that kind of stuff as well too. And it's just so cool, just about like how good Taker is and how interesting he is as well too, and just awesome just to see just the prototype and just how like different his moveset is, and how he's more of like a proper zombie, where in the 90s and when he became the American Badass in the early 2000s and became a dead man again, is how he's able to incorporate and change through time. And that's why I love, and this move, oh look at that, the flying clothesline, what a big flying clothesline, absolutely beautiful. And you can hear there as well them putting it over as well, like Taker using his big moves and stuff, his big clubbing blows and everything as well. And it's just so cool just to see how dominant Taker is as well against someone like Jimmy Superfly Snuka, who's been wrestling for years, has been a big star for many years as well too. And you can see there as well Undertaker with a big choke around Superfly's neck, because this was before he ended up bringing in the choke slam and stuff, which is really interesting as well. You can see that all the big knee there, and you can see here as well in the background as well with the shots about the cameras and stuff. It's really interesting seeing something that was made back in the early 90s from like SD to HD, just seeing the difference in quality and everything else, and just seeing like the difference in how the cameras work and how you can hear the light go off as well too, and everything else as well. It's just really cool. and you could hear the referee like counting. Or beautiful suplex, and you can see that the Undertaker showing off his sitting up techniques and stuff as well. It's just so cool. Oh, there you go. There's another one of his sit-ups. You can hear there as well, putting over just how dominant and stuff that the Undertaker's being in this match as well too. It's just so cool. You can see there, like, Taker not selling at all any of these blows, any of these chops, any of these strikes that Jimmy Snuka's given Taker as well. It's just so interesting just seeing. You can see there as well, Taker just be like, nope. The no selling there as well just shows just his power and everything else as well. It's just so cool. Oh, right over the top rope and onto the floor there. That was a big move there. And we can hear there as well the referee counting Jimmy, and you can see there Paul Bearer with the iconic pose of the urn, and it's just insane just watching this match back and just seeing just how different the Undertaker was. And here as well too, like, his skin is complete and utterly clear, like there's no tattoos or anything. It's just so interesting just to see from even like a year later when you had the start of the tattoo, and then you had many years later on even more of those tattoos, everything else. You can see there, big club. And then you can see there as well, look, here we go. Tombstone! Oh, I love that move. Here we go. And it's really interesting as well, seeing the way that he pins him before he puts the eyes up and does the big tongue and stuff as well. It's just so cool just to see, like, how different the Undertaker is as well. And it kind of so interesting to kind of remember watching this match back and being like, okay, yep, Undertaker is so cool. And you can just hear the announcers putting over the Undertaker's win and how dominant he's been. You can see there as well the Undertaker going past with that amazing pose and stuff, and it's just so cool. And you can just hear the Undertaker go through as well, and so good, man. So good. And so then, guys, out of 5, we'll probably have to give that match, would probably have to be 5 stars out of 5. I mean, for what it was set out to do, for what it did for The Undertaker, for what it did for The Undertaker's career in general. And even though, yes, at the time we didn't really picture his streak to become so big, to become so great, to become so iconic, it's just so cool to kind of see the start of that legendary cycle, that legendary like record that he had, being 21-0 and stuff, being like Mr. WrestleMania. I know a lot of people see it being Shawn Michaels being Mr. WrestleMania, but to me, The Undertaker will always be Mr. WrestleMania 2. And I think as well it just shows just how dominant and how good Taker was, just how they're able to work really well with his character, how they're able to put over his character so well to be a legend like Jimmy Superfly Snuka. And I think as well, for me too, it's just so awesome just to see the first like alpha stage of The Undertaker to them, where he goes into the mid-90s, late 90s, early 2000s, mid-2000s, late 2000s, early 2000s, 2010s, mid-2010s, and late 2010s, and just to see just how he was able to evolve and change with the times and stuff, becoming the American Badass, and then the Dead Man again, and then the American Badass again, and then, in a sense, incorporating both, so you have the hint of the Dead Man where you had the gong going off, but then you had hints of the American Badass with his attire that he wears, or the music that he's been playing when he appeared on NXT, etc. But then at the Hall of Fame, he came out to the actual Undertaker theme tune as well. It was just so cool just to see just the evolution of how Taker goes from this match compared to the other WrestleMania matches that he'll be having in the future and stuff as well. And I also think as well, for a streak match, it was pretty good. For what it was, it worked really well for being something that was 4 minutes long, something that is like, it's a 4-minute match, it's a squash match. It shows you just what it's supposed to do. It's a proper, what it says on the tin, it's a proper thing to be like, alright then, so you have this man being dominant, this man winning comfortably, this man starting off the iconic and most famous streak in the history of professional wrestling. And I think for me, it's the start of something that is beautiful, and I wish never ended, and I wish The Undertaker ended his career at WrestleMania being 27-0. And that, my friends, was my watch along of The Undertaker versus Jimmy Superfly Snuka from WrestleMania 7. Let me know, guys, in the comments below what your thoughts are about this amazing match and how you think it compares to the other matches throughout the amazing streak. I mean, do you prefer his matches in general where he wrestled against CM Punk or Triple H or Shawn Michaels, Batista, etc.? Love to hear you guys think. And also as well, guys, please don't forget to like, follow and subscribe to Naya Wrestling. This has been Naya Wrestling, guys. I have been your amazing host, as always, Mark Silvester. And don't forget, guys, to take care. And always remember, it's WrestleMania.